All right, guys, so you know me, I get really excited about teaching you how to draw things. It doesn't really matter what it is. I love teaching you how to draw. But today, I'm excited, as always, to teach you how to draw a cute little cartoon style reindeer. So this is not going to be a realistic reindeer. This is going to be a cartoon just for fun. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to sketch out an oval. Okay, from here, what we're going to do is we're going to draw on the top of the head. So I'm going to come up from the sides of the oval, and I'm just going to do a small curve coming off the edge of each of these ovals. So something like this. Okay, from here, I'm going to come up, and you can draw basically an upside down U. And of course, as always, I'm trying to make it fairly symmetrical, but if it's not 100% exactly the same on both sides, that's okay. The more we practice drawing, the better we get. So we're not looking for perfection. All right, so we've basically got this guy's head sketched out already. Super easy. All right, let's put on some ears. So, you can do ears any way you want. You can do ears that are both up and ear down. But basically, we're gonna do, almost think of it as like a leaf shape coming off of the ear. So I'm gonna start over here and just draw a gentle curved line out this way. Don't want it to get too pointy on the end. He doesn't have elf ears. And then we're gonna come back down and in. And again, we're gonna try and make this symmetrical, so I'm gonna put a similar shape on this side, coming up with the curve and out, trying not to get too pointed. Trying to make some adjustments to keep this a little bit more symmetrical. So remember, we want to refine our work. So when we see something looks a little bit off, we make adjustments to improve it. And again, if it's not perfect, that's okay, but we do want to take the time to try and do quality work. Okay. Now on the insides, for the inside of the ear, we are basically going to just trace that shape. We're going to do it a little bit wider here, and then it's going to get a little bit more narrow as it comes out. So let's put this in on the other side as well. A little bit wider, and it comes up closer to the edge of the ear to make it more narrow. Okay, and then we're going to come back down. So basically just kind of tracing that general shape on the inside. Okay. All right, let's work on putting on the body of this little reindeer. So let's start by drawing a circle or an oval, depending on how wide you want this guy to be, or a girl. This is going to be the front of the reindeer's chest. Okay, from here, we're going to come on, if you remember back to that turkey we drew about a month ago, it's kind of like that similar concept. We're going to come over, out, and back down. And this looks a little funny to you now, but I think you'll understand when we finish. Okay, so we've got this basic shape on here. So right now, just very basic, simple shapes. Okay, let's go ahead and put a tail on here. So this is essentially, you can think of it as almost like a triangle. And you can adjust how big or small you want the tail. We're gonna come up, almost like a Hershey kiss here, and come back down. Okay, let's keep going. I may make this a little bit smaller. So again, refining my work when I see it's necessary. I'm thinking I want the head to be a little bit big, kind of the center of attention on this reindeer. So I'm gonna adjust my body. Okay, now it's time to add on some legs. So, you know, the legs, you can be as simple as doing rectangles coming off of here. So let's go ahead and think about our placement. So we're gonna go from about the edge of our circle, and essentially it's going to be, you can think of it as a rectangle if you want. It's a gentle curve out and down. And we're gonna do the line for this one right about here. And I'm gonna curve this out a little bit. But you could just come in here and go like this. So you could just come in and put in a rectangle to start with, okay? So remember that we can always start with very basic shapes and then add our detail in. So if I come over here, this one, make this a little more narrow. This one's gonna come down as well. So I'll just show you what it looks like with a basic rectangle. Okay, basic rectangle there. All right, for back here, the leg is going to angle out a little bit. So let's make this from 2 rectangles for now, and then we'll come back in and add in our detail. So this one's a shorter rectangle, and then it's gonna do something funny. Go more like this. So very basic shapes right now. And then we're gonna come over here and add in another rectangular shape. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start refining this guy and putting in our final details to really make it more fun. Okay, so there are so many different ways to draw the eyes on this guy. It's really up to you, so we'll get to that in a second. Let's go ahead and put the nose on. So I'm just gonna do an oval shape for the nose, and it's gonna come just above, or at least touch the top of the oval I initially put in. Okay, really easy, right? Okay, so just like the eyes, there are so many different ways you can do the mouth. So I'm gonna show you a couple. I'm gonna draw them really, really lightly because at some point I'm gonna pick one of them. So I can go ahead and just do a basic smile, right? I could do just a curve up this way. Okay, I could do it on the other side. So it's really up to you. I'm gonna keep this curve right here because I think it's a little more fun. Okay, now when we do the eyes, so let's talk about some of the eye options we have. So I'll show you an open eye. Okay, so I'm gonna come up kind of right, see we still have these curves here. I'm gonna go in from about there, and I'm going to draw a curved line. Now you may want to wait a second to see what the different options are. So you can come back in the video and follow along once you decide which option you want. From here, I'm just going to come up like a rainbow, curve line up and down, okay? From there, I am going to draw in a circle towards the corner. Okay. And of course we can always put reflections in there, so, or highlights. So I'm going to draw in 2 circles, and then I'm going to come on the outside edge and draw what would be the colored part of the eye, the iris. So we have the pupil, the iris, some highlights, and then make a little bit more curved up at the top here. We'll see some details when I go back in with Sharpie. I don't think I'm going to color this today, but I definitely will go back in with some Sharpie. Okay, now some other options you have. You can make this little guy with 2 open eyes. You can make him have 2 eyes where he is just kind of like this great big grin and 2 eyes like this. It's really your choice. He can be winking, whatever makes you happy. I think I'm going to try and give him 2 open eyes. So let's see what this looks like. All right, so I'm going to come in here and do a curved line again. And again, I'm going to try and make these pretty symmetrical. So I'm trying to get them about the same size. Remember, I started with the circle on this side. And then the highlights. And the colored part of the eye. Uh-oh, my eyes look a little wonky. So I'm gonna adjust those a little bit. Hopefully they won't look too bad when I go to color them in. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add on some details for the chest. So I'm gonna come down on a diagonal and bring this in towards the top of the first leg, like that. I'm gonna come over here. So now what we can do is go ahead and erase this line here. We don't need it anymore. And then let's refine the legs so that we have some more interesting detail in here. Okay, so I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna curve this line in a little bit, back out. I'm gonna bring this in a little bit and back up. So let's see what that looks like now. I'm gonna erase the line there. And then I'm gonna put a line in for his hoof. Okay. Then we are going to come over here. And again, we're gonna do some refinement. So I'm gonna bring this in a little bit. And then out. We're not going to erase this line. We want that to stay there. Okay. So the next thing we can do is add on all sorts of fun details. So we can add on a scarf, we could add on a little collar with bells, Christmas lights, anything that you think would be fun to add to your reindeer. So let's go ahead and I think I'll add a scarf on here. So basically, I'm just gonna come up here, do a curved line, come back out like this, and I'm gonna bring this up to here. And then I'm gonna bring another line down from here, curved line here, curved line here. Okay, so I go back in with my eraser. Okay, I'm gonna add on the end of the scarf. So I did a curve. And then if you wanted to draw fringe or stripes on here, you could. Whatever makes you happy, a design, polka dots, anything you want. So We also need to leave a little bit of room for an antler. So let's go ahead and draw an antler on. So I'm gonna come up from here. I'm just gonna do a little curved line. And then I'm gonna come up and out. Okay, so if you're gonna put 2 antlers on, then you're gonna wanna do the same thing on the other side. Do a little curved line. So maybe I won't do a hat. We'll just have to see. So I'm gonna show you what it will look like with 2 antlers. So come up and out. And again, you're trying to make these symmetrical, but if they're not perfect, that's okay. And then what we're gonna do is remember that the antlers will get thinner as they come up and out towards the ends, okay? All right, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna add on the rest of the antlers. So it's up to you how many of these you put on. So if you put one here, you wanna come over here and do a line on this side too, okay? And then of course, you don't want these to just be a line, so you're gonna have to bring that back down. Okay, so let's put one on this side. So I'm gonna come up, which means I'm gonna come over here and do the same thing. Okay, and maybe there'll be one more somewhere. That's up to you, how many you put on there, okay? So you can decide that. You could do a hat, like a Santa hat, covering the ear over here. You could do a bow, you can do holly. Maybe I'll do, I don't know, I'm trying to decide what I want to do to this guy as far as, or girl. Maybe, let's do maybe a holly. So we'll maybe do some holly on here somewhere. I don't know. Or we could do an ornament hanging from him. So there's so many different things you can do to add some fun to this. So that's just 3 circles. Okay, so it's up to you what you add and keep. And now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna refine it. So if you wanna stick around and see how this ends up, you're more than welcome to. I'm gonna be making some adjustments so my eyes don't look so crazy here. And then you'll see it in the end. And I can't wait to see what yours look like when you show them to me in class.